Dr. Joel Selanikio is a physician and CEO and co-founder of Magpi, a mobile data collection and messaging software. And I asked him about the vaccine scandal and how China can better regulate the industry.
I think it's remarkable for them to say that they're inspecting the supply chain or the production chain now. I mean, the point is that these things should have been inspected the whole time. I think every country that wants to produce pharmaceuticals has to recognize that we're talking about an extremely high standard of quality that has to be followed. And there are so-called, good manufacturing processes that get followed. So it's quite well known how to manufacture pharmaceuticals at a very high level. And it's understood that part of that is what happens at the factory, and part of that is the inspections at the factory. Part of it is the consequences of when you don't follow those procedures. If China wants to be exporting pharmaceuticals, much less, we're not even just talking about domestic consumption, but exporting to the United States and other potential markets, obviously they have to step up their game.
No reports of injuries or illness associated with what was administered, but what kind of risk were these children in?
Well, I mean, I would say a tremendous risk, and that's mostly based on the fact that we don't know what was administered. We don't have any concrete information, at least not at this point, about exactly what was the problem with the vaccine. We only know that it wasn't a valid vaccine. That could mean that there were no additional ingredients, nothing harmful in it, but the vaccine was allowed to, the temperature of the vaccine was wrong, and so they're invalid. It could mean that something in the manufacturing process introduced a poison into the vaccine. We simply don't know. It's not like China is coming up with these mistakes or these issues for the first time. These are things that happen all around the world, but of course they happen less with more regulation and more inspections and more procedures. And this is exactly what's going to have to change.
Do you have any advice for parents? Because essentially their children were exposed. They're being told that they will be able to get their vaccines re-administered, the correct one, but
Right.
Is there anything they could watch for?
There's two issues here. One is the fact they didn't get vaccinated, right? So the vaccinations don't count. So that one's easy, right? Let's say there's a pretty minimal chance that any kid's going to get exposed to, say, whooping cough in the day or two or the 2 weeks. I mean, it's possible, of course, depending on where you are in China. But, we know how to treat that, et cetera. So the part about not getting vaccinated is easy to fix. The part about we don't know what the problem was in the first place, that's harder to fix. And the only thing that we can do in this case is wait for the Chinese government to tell us, or rather to tell the parents really, what the problem was. Was it a contamination? Was it simply, again, invalidated by heat or some other kind of a process? Until we actually know what the problem really was, we won't be able to figure out what to do about it.